Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Forgotten Furion. Are you with me, Kira? Good. Alright, so we're going to be talking about the Anima and dreams and racism. So, be ready. According to the 2010 census, Hispanics constituted 16.3% of the U.S. population, including multiracial African Americans. Black people made up 14% of the U.S. population in 2010. Non-Hispanic or Caucasian white people totaled about 62% of the U.S. population. However, according to the Bureau of Statistics, blacks accounted for 39.4% of the prison population. Okay, so they're 14% of the population max, and they're 39.4% of the prison population, just black people. It's similar with Hispanics, but not whites or Asians. So, they're 39.4% of the prison population in 2009, while Hispanic whites were 34.2% or 34%, and Hispanics of any race were 20.6% of the incarcerated. And the incarceration rate for black males was 6 times higher than that of white males, with a rate of 4,749 per 100,000 U.S. residents. From 1980 to 2008, 93% of black victims were killed by blacks. Okay, so we're like, oh, my whitey done it. The cops are killing us. Stop killing us. We're just black. No, 93% of black victims were killed by blacks. That's all. That's all she wrote. White on black homicides are much rarer than black on white homicides, and we outnumber them like a trillion to 1. Okay. So the vast bulk of interracial violence is committed by blacks in general, followed by Hispanics and Native Americans. Then by whites, then by Asians, which is interesting, considered population. So in 2012, blacks committed 560,600 acts of violence against whites, and whites committed 99,403 acts of violence against blacks. So they're outnumbering us significantly, because theirs was 560 something, ours is 99,000. There's this 560,000. So, and we outnumber them dramatically. They're 12% of the population. We're 62% of the population. So the vast bulk. Okay, I said that. Yeah. So just remember that. According to the data, that data was from the National Crime Victimization Survey. The Bureau of Justice stopped publishing its table on interracial crimes after 2008, the first year of Barack Hussein Obama's presidency. So if you're like, yeah, but what if that's old information? Yeah, because Barack Hussein Obama, who women voted in, he was a Muslim, an inbred Muslim. See the Cousin Marriage and Islam Wikipedia for details. Yeah, he just was like, nope, we sweep it under the rug. My baby didn't do nothing. So, the definition of prejudice, which whites are often accused of, especially white males, because we don't receive affirmative action. We gotta protect their money. Definition of prejudice. 1. Injury or damage resulting from some judgment or action of another in disregard of one's rights, especially detrimental to one's legal rights or claims. 2. Preconceived judgments or opinion. That's the one. Alright, and there are Caucasian men abolished slavery. Every other race still has slaves today, so there's your racism. See the current world slavery map and global slavery index, hyperlinks in the description. Jurisprudence goes back to the Latin prudentia juris, literally meaning skill in law, from which is derived the late Latin formation jurisprudentia, and subsequently our word. The noun jurisprudence means one skilled in law, in other words, a jurist. Postjudice is the antonym of prejudice, an option or judgment formed after rigorous examination of the facts and or long experience in the field. The word was the word derivative is self-evident. Alright, now that I got that out of the way, I recently had a dream where I was just sitting in my apartment watching television, cooking, just doing like subconscious house stuff. And as I was doing so, I heard a clanging of keys and the mechanism shifting out of shifting a lock, my lock. The rattling of the doorknob, my doorknob. And I jumped up and ran over the door like, I thought, just as a man walked in, let's call him Jaquan. Well, at first I took him for maintenance staff, because I live in an apartment building, as he had a key. So I was like, he's got a key, you know, don't unleash the rage. And then I was just like, wait a minute, you're not dressed right, I don't recognize you. And then after he started grabbing my stuff, because he was just like, I was just gonna let him whatever he's here to do for some reason. And then he starts grabbing my stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is not, something's not right here. And then he grabs a baseball bat that I apparently owned, never had one before, but whatever. And my mobile telephone, right? So I was just like, wait a minute. And of course it was a dream, along with all of my most valued possessions, right? So as I was leaving to tell security, because I was like, that's it, I'm telling security. Having decided not to beat him up, although I felt no fear, I said something like the following to him in a supplicating manner, feeling a great swell of sorrow and loss. But that is everything that I own. To which he, in smirking silence, answered. Or with smirking silence, answered, essentially with facial expressions, that's your problem, chump. It was just like, you know, like I care, Whitey. And then I went to tell security and leaving him alone in my apartment, and he was gone when I got back, with as were my former belongings upon my return. After filing a police report, I decided to rescind my former mercy towards him and hunt him down and reclaim my goods. But I awoke before succeeding. Okay, so I even felt cheated by that. Some part of me wants to and wanted to be all loving and gentle and compassionate, even if it meant willingly becoming a victim. Like I said, I decided not to do anything about it. And he did very much out of character for me, usually. He did not care about my problems, though. After I gave him a chance, like, come on, you know, come on. You know, but no. And like most men, he didn't care virtually all women and virtually all colored people, especially those last two. Who are either lethargic and subservient, or also there are lethargic and subservient white men, which feel the same way. And the aforementioned affirmative action sponges, of course. Because every time I extend them sympathy, they try to sucker punch me, or they steal from me, or it's always something. Look at me like I'm a chump. Like if it's a girl, they'll like take advantage. I'm like, you know, I was doing that because you asked, not because you shook your breasts at me, okay? But they always take me as some kind of a chump, and I'm like, well, I could wreck y'all, but I never do. So, being nice, right? It's really challenging. So, some part of me wants to be all soft and vulnerable, and it's really difficult. So, integration of the animus is difficult. I have met my so-called feminine side, in my dream at least, or anima, and it was girly. The projection forming factor is the anima. Whenever she appears in dreams, fantasies, or visions, she appears personified, thereby demonstrating that basically she possesses all the outstanding characteristics of the female person. Integration of Dreams, written by Carl Jones, is where I pulled that from, that saying. He considered the dream a natural and normal psychic phenomenon, describing the inner situation of the dreamer, a spontaneous self-portrayal in symbolical form of the actual situation in the unconscious, again from the same book. I asked myself after awaking, what did you learn? Well, I can say I learned a lot, but about blacks and stealing, it wasn't good. But about my feminine side and how I'm going to get punished for it, especially as a male, also not good. But nonetheless, it got me to looking into it, and I realized that I could have still handled that in a very anima kind of a way, but just put my foot down here or there. So again, I asked myself, and it's an ongoing question with ongoing answers, but I asked myself upon waking, what did you learn? This is your host, aware of the Reaper's death mark. My soul rages with strength. I'll leave you all with the following quote. Carl Jung wrote in his book entitled Memories, Dreams, Reflections the following. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes.